Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee meeting. Today is January 22nd, 2024. We have a quorum, and I call this meeting to order. First order of business is I need to get a motion and a second to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion from Laura Davison and a second from Jody and Rick. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? So first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I'm glad that we are hopefully over the threshold of this weather. I know it's been rough on everybody, and the freezing temperatures kept everybody in, but we made it, and we're here. And we're going to get started right off the bat talking about our upcoming father-daughter dance. I guess that's Miss Kathy.
It is.
All right.
Father-daughter dance is February 3rd from 2 to 4. This year we're having it at the Vergne Middle School Gymnasium, the 382 Stones River Road. We'll have desserts, photo booth, face painting, and music. So we've got a bigger venue to accommodate the crowd that we had last year.
I was going to say, wasn't it pretty?
It was huge.
Yeah.
And we ordered 10,000 flyers to go to the schools, so those will start going to the schools either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Oh, goodness. That's why it's so, I didn't know you did. Did you do that last year?
We did do that last year.
That's why it was so blown up.
Yeah. So we are planning to accommodate about 3 times as many as we did last year, which should hopefully cover the crowd that we get this year.
Hopefully the weather will be as nice as it was last year. The only question I have that I can think of off the top of my head is I know they were a big hit. Are you going to have those young ladies, the Merry Maid?
They have not responded to me. I don't know if they're available. So this year's theme is What a Doll. So I've got 3 independent face painters coming. Last year the mermaids did part of the face painting. So as of now, no. But that is subject to change.
I see there's already interest in some of the local Facebook pages, people that were asking about the theme, so I kind of went ahead and ran in and posted that to share. I think it's a cute idea this year.
Thank you. Yeah, it is kind of, somebody said, is it Barbie? And it kind of is, but with copyright issues, we kind of, What a Doll is the only way we could kind of portray that. We couldn't really do any imaging for that.
No, but it's super cute, and they get to dress up. And,
Yeah, and Sheila went in today and shared it to a bunch of different pages as well. So hopefully between that and the flyers, we'll have a good turnout.
Good deal.
And just so anybody that may pull this up on YouTube, watching at home, it's called Father and Daughter's Dance.
Yes.
That does not mean anything. That's just the name. If you have a grandmother, grandpa wants to bring your son, your grandson, your granddaughter, your niece, whatever, please dress up and bring them out. The father-daughter is just something that's been around since the beginning of time with these things, and we changed it one time and it didn't do very well, so we want to make sure that we keep it father-daughters.
Also, it is free admission, so there is no entry fee for the
Free
dance.
admission. I may stop by. I may bring my grandson and show off my dance moves.
Hopefully, there'll be plenty of room for you to dance.
Who's we got a DJ? We got
We
a
do.
DJ?
The same DJ company we've been using.
Okay.
Obviously, children theme songs, pretty much the same kind of music as we've had the last few years. So,
Any questions, guys? All right. We will move on to one of our favorites, the Easter Drive.
all right, Easter drive-through this year is scheduled for March 23rd from 10 to 11:30 at the park, same setup as the last few years. I am going to try to recruit a few other departments have a booth as well. Usually it's the library and Parks and Rec, so I'm hoping to maybe have 5 different booths as they drive down the path. Offers a little more for each kid. We are buying more, which last year, that was another thing. We had such a good turnout. We've increased our numbers to be able to accommodate more kids this year, because it is while supplies last. In previous years, we had leftovers. Last year, we ran out. So we are accommodating for that this year as well. And we do have a rain out of March 30th, but with it being a drive-through, we don't anticipate having to use that rain out unless it's severe weather, because they don't get out of the car. So,
Yeah, but what about the folks standing outside?
well, we're fine with it.
You're okay?
We have rain jackets.
Yeah.
And what is the time on the 23rd?
It is from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. or while supplies last. Last year, it ended about 15 minutes early, but we're hoping to be able to go the whole time.
What was the start time?
10 a.m.
So if you do 5 departments, are you talking about 5 different departments giving out 5 different things?
Right, because, when the cars stop, if we're handing this car their bag, this tent could be handing the car behind them a bag. So I don't anticipate it slowing the flow down any. It'll just be, they're going to be stopped anyway.
So you do one item, but not 5 different items?
Well, yeah, each booth they would get something from each booth.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
it would be 5 different
Okay,
items,
gotcha.
yes.
So I'll still be standing up there yelling ages.
Yes, because we're still going to have the golden eggs.
And then,
So
yeah, the
we will
golden
still
eggs.
need to know the ages to be able to accommodate what bags go to what age, yeah.
You know, I missed this last year because of a surgery that I'd had, and I was sitting home, really missed not being there for this because having been there previous, just the smiles and the kids are so happy and everything on this day. It's great. So I make a point not to miss this year.
Yeah, and the Easter Bunny will be back, of course, so the Easter Bunny tries to visit the kids as they drive through as well.
I anticipate being there as well, whatever capacity
Okay,
you may need me in.
all right.
Did, seem like I ask this every year, but I'm just curious, and I meant to ask you up at the office, did all the golden egg baskets get picked
No.
up?
We still had 2 left from last year. We had 2 from the previous year. I believe 3 and 5 and 6 and 8. The 6 and 8 is still there. So 2 again this year. I can't remember the age groups that were left over.
So this never showed up?
They never showed up.
And those golden eggs are real big, aren't they?
They're really big, and this is the poster for the event this year, and the golden eggs will have a little card in them with this design with the age group. And they have to come to the office and turn that card in to get that basket.
Can you explain what the golden egg means? I have never heard of it.
We do a basket of different toys and goodies for each age group. There's 4 different age groups.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
And Steve will let us know what age is coming, so we know we have them separated so that we make sure that a 12-year-old's not going to get a 0 to 3 egg.
Right.
So, and then it's just a golden egg with that tag in it, and if they get that egg in their bag, they come up to the parks office, or they can retrieve it at the event if we're still there when they realize they have it.
Oh.
So it's just a bunch of different toys, age appropriate per basket.
So you pick kids out randomly? Like,
No, I just scream out the ages.
Yeah.
Like a car pulls up and there's a 1-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 8-year-old, and I tell them 1, 5, and 8. Then they get the bags from different age groups because the Easter egg, you got 1 Easter egg in a 1-year-old, 1 to 3.
I
Or
think
0 to
it's
3.
0 to 3, 4 and 5, 6 to 8, and 9 to 12.
So there's 4 golden eggs.
okay.
And we don't even know what bags the eggs are in, because when we stuff the bags, these totes are huge. So this egg could be at the top of this age group's box, and this one could be at the bottom. So when we hand them out, we don't even know who's getting them until they come back and claim the prize.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what's funny is, like she said, 2 years ago, they had 2 Easter baskets left over that nobody claimed.
Oh, they didn't.
And then this last year, she
Right.
said they got 2 more, so.
Yeah.
They
But
just
those
don't realize
golden
what they
eggs,
got.
Right, if the children go through the eggs and the parents don't see the tag, then they just don't realize to bring it back up.
If there ain't no candy in it, they
They toss it.
I was like, wow, I don't.
chunk it. All right, good stuff. Any questions? And I guess Andrew will be up next and tell us about what's going on with this Brookside Park.
Brookside Park. So last time we had discussed when we met about the cost of the park just being astronomical for what we had budgeted, and so we had discussed about possibly giving the grant back. Well, we went back to TDEC and kind of explained the situation. Our budget's not in line with construction costs and all that right now, so they did say that we could possibly alter the plan for Brookside Park and still be able to use those grant funds. They said that we would have to send in a new scope of work. So once that goes in, their higher ups at TDEC would have to approve it if they would still be willing to move forward with the grant funding. But as far as right now, what we are proposing to them is going back and the parking lot, all the grading work, drainage, all that'll be in the scope of work. The pad where the play structures would be at would be when they're doing the grading would be flat. So we could come back at a later date, possibly the next budget year, and put the play structure in. Sidewalks would be in, benches would be in. Also, there'd be a concrete pad where the pavilion would go. So we would go ahead and have that included, and the walking trail. And that's what we're proposing to them once we get all the engineering back and submit that to them, see if they would be willing to move forward with that and still give us the funding. And then once, if that was to happen, we could go back and add a pavilion in the future and definitely the play structure. So we're still trying to see if they would be willing to let us use the funding. Of course, free money's good in some aspects. So if they're willing to let us use that and move forward, I think that's what we're wanting to propose to BOMA.
So we've proposed, and the ball's in their court right now?
We have not proposed yet. No, it still has to, they still have to have engineering drawings. So we spoke last Friday to the engineering firm that we're working with. They're just having to go back and adjust those details. And then once that happens, and as far as pricing on the engineering costs, we'd still have to go for BOMA on that. But once all that would get approved, we would submit that back to TDEC. And then the ball would be in their court as far as if they'd be willing to accept that proposal or not. What we're thinking is, as far as, your parking lots, your walking trail, and your concrete pavilion, or your concrete pad for your pavilion, is if we're tied to that stuff, that's stuff that's fairly low maintenance. So in the future, we talked about the pour and play surfacing. If that gets tore up, that's something that's going to be pretty costly every few years. Whereas we're thinking there's not much maintenance to, once you grade the property out, then it's graded out from here on out, unless there's some catastrophic flood or something. But your pavement, your concrete, that's going to stay in place. So that's our thinking. We're looking at it as if we can propose our hard structures and get those under the grant. Anything we do else would be out of that grant, so we could do whatever. They did say we could possibly do it in phases. So that's our goal, proposing that to them.
Now, David and Andrew came before us at the last MAMA meeting and went over this pretty extensively. Andrew, can you tell the board, let me see if I'm thinking correctly, that there's is it a $16,000?
As far as what we paid,
That we would have to pay them.
it's roughly 16 to 18,000, I believe. That's what TDEC has. We have submitted for reimbursement, and they have paid. So if we did have to pay any funding back, that's what the rough amount would be back to TDEC. Like I said, if it is possible and they're willing to let us move forward with the grant money, what money's budgeted from the city, and we could get the scope of work we're planning, then we could do it in stages as far as adding pavilions or play structure. And play structure, in the big scheme of things, is a lot cheaper than having to do it through TDEC. So, and we would not be tied to it with that grant funding.
And TDEC, in the beginning, was kind of like it's all or nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And if it comes back that, and it still could possibly come back, that they won't do a little bit, that they may say, no, there again, it's all or nothing. And if that's the case, then we're gonna be into that grant for how much?
As far, what's budgeted, on the city's budgeted 200,000, roughly 202, I believe, and that's roughly the grant funding as of right now, so.
Now, one of the things that I didn't understand, if a flood or whatever comes in and raises,
So if essentially, if anything's damaged on your property and it's funded through TDEC, if you repair it, you have to repair it back to the same specification as what happened, what was originally put there when the grant was signed off on. So, like I said, when we talked about the rubber surfacing, if that was damaged, or in the future you wanted to go back and even change it to mulch later, 15 years down the road, you could not do that because what you initially started with is what they require. And they do inspections on their grant projects every 3 to 5 years, I believe. So they do come back out and inspect to make sure that you're maintaining it to that original specification they signed off on. So that's why our thinking, as far as what we're proposing with the scope, is essentially if you put concrete down, it's going to be there. Your walking trail is going to be there. Your grading is going to be the same on your property. Your parking lot is going to be the same. So anything that we're trying to tie to that grant is not necessarily maintenance free, but essentially maintenance free. Then anything as far as pavilions, play structures, anything like that that's on us. So it's not tied to the grant.
that's what they mean, Felicia. I think about what she said, certain things, once you do that, you're married to them.
So we're trying to essentially get the least marriage to it as possible, but get our best bang for our buck at the moment. Like I said, once the project's, if we get the thing graded out, we can go back possibly in the next budget year before Bowman and ask for a play structure, and that's probably $80,000 to $90,000. The pad would already be level. We could have the company come in and build a play structure, and you essentially have a full park almost. So that's the update.
Restrooms and all?
No restrooms.
No restrooms.
Yep.
It'd be kind of like,
It's basically a neighborhood park, something like Lake Forest or Mankin Park.
yeah, Mankin.
Yeah.
So right around other
It's
houses and stuff like that?
Neighborhood park.
Yeah.
I was drawing a blank. Mankin. All right, any more questions? All right, so our next meeting will be February the 19th at 6 p.m. right here, and I guess then we're gonna get into July 4th, Fall Festival, all kind of stuff, because it'll be here before you know it. Is you guys, anybody got any comments?
No, I don't.
All right. I'm looking forward to another year up here on the board, or at least until at least November. But it's going to be another, I'm sure Kathy, Sheila, Andrew, David, all the Park and Rec people's got us a big spring and summer and fall lined up for us for 2024. And I'm looking forward to see what they pull out of their hat. So with that, I'll call this meeting adjourned.
Yeah.